Okay, start.
This video is about the time in 2010 when Sears sold bootleg furry porn on their website and apparently had no idea.
What
But 4chan found out about it basically right away, and they went, hey, you know what'd be funny? What if we all started just mass buying this stuff at 3 in the morning? Now, understandably, Sears freaked the hell out and started systematically wiping the internet of any evidence they'd ever sold this. But if they wiped the evidence, how am I making this video? Well, Sears made one fatal mistake that day. Sears underestimated 4chan, and now 4chan was about to majorly pants them by answering an important question in retail history. Ready? What was furry porn doing on Sears.com?
Yes.
Who put it there? And how could something like this possibly
That's like a big mistake. Whoever did this need to be fired.
happen to Sears more than once? This is the legend of the second worst thing ever sold at Sears.com. This is bad art history. It all went down on May 1st, 2008, somewhere in Europe. So the worst part of the story is already over.
Oh no, it's on Europe.
Now, there was this furry fetish artist living out there called Storm Dragon Blue. That day, he fires up his personal website, which contains dozens of works of fetish art, and he uploads his latest fetish creation. It's some fan art of the Kirby game series, which looks like this, depicting the villain character, King Dedede, who looks like this, penetrating a little minion creature called a
I don't know why the way she described it is funny as well.
Waddle Dee. And the whole thing kind of looks like this. And then
Oh my god. Look how sad the thing is. Look how happy this one is. Oh my god.
And then something very weird happens. 3 years pass. It is now September 25th of 2011. As legend has it, somewhere around there, someone was shopping for pillowcases on Sears.com when he inexplicably scrolled past this. Themed fetish art from the Netherlands had somehow made its way to Sears in the form of 631 household items. We're talking drawstring bags, teddy bears, sleeping masks for the missus, clocks, 200 types of magnets for some reason, even a set of cufflinks.
Holy
you could
shit.
furnish your entire house with the Kirby hentai collection currently available at Sears, and it had apparently been sitting there since April of the previous year.
1 year. Oh my god, that's very... No, my god. That's a lot. How come no one did check that?
So genuinely insane that we just have to go minute by minute. So here is the timeline, starting with the minute 4chan found out. September 25th, 3:21 a.m., 4chan stand
3:21 a.m. So if people start sleeping early, we will not have this kind of issues.
standard time. A user begins a thread on the comics and cartoons board with a link to one of the Kirby products. Quote, "What the flip is going on?" He explains that looking up the phrase King Dedede drooling while eating unlocks the part of the Sears website with all the hentai on it. So naturally, traffic to the website explodes. And he wasn't kidding, by the way. This term returned pages and pages of household items with some very eye-catching pornography on them. At least, he's pretty sure that's what he saw. Keep that in mind. And the floodgate was opened. Horrified 4chan users flocked to the retail
This is the kind of stuff I would write. This is fabulous. It is.
site and confirmed that, yes, these were real products eligible for in-store pickup
What isn't the god?
and potentially in-store return. And apparently in-store returns take a long time, but there was no time to waste.
Imagine they don't know about this, okay, and you order one. So there is someone that will have to ship it to you. And that person will discover for the first time they have this kind of products at Sears. Oh my god. That's golden.
Anons immediately begin theory crafting. One guy says what everyone's thinking. This has to be some kind of a prank. You know, some act of revenge against Sears by an employee. Another guy says, who's ever responsible, let's blame Reddit anyway.
I love the spirit.
Wise words. Now put yourself in the mind of an average adult, so a non-internet poisoned person, working for Sears in 2011, and you can see where the problem is starting to form. If you'd never seen these characters before, or like most people, you were completely unfamiliar with the concept of cartoon adult artwork, or you just forgot your glasses at home that day, what you might see is some kind of a weird blue penguin drooling and lifting a ball towards his mouth, which is almost certainly where that bizarre search term DDD drooling while
eating? What is he eating, bro?
eating came from. Because the artist certainly didn't title it that. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. 3:33 a.m. The 4chan thread
It's 1 minute after.
hadn't been up for 15 minutes when one of the links breaks. It's probably nothing, 4chan thought. It's not like 200 of us are visiting Sears.com at 3 in the morning to buy a bumper sticker. This won't have consequences of any kind. 3:43 a.m. Another listing disappears, and then another, and then a dozen more. It was like 3 9/11s and 10 1984s. And then, as if it couldn't get any worse, that was when some guy barged into that main 4chan thread and he said, "Hey guys, hi, do I have your attention? Yeah, fun's over, I told customer service." And this was followed by several people also claiming that they had tipped off Fox News and even Bill O'Reilly specifically. Now, whether they were trolling or not, by now Sears had absolutely noticed and they were shutting it down. And in some kind of horrible coincidence, and
Imagine if you get some products back then. You can sell them for so much money right now.
I'm not even being
Best investment ever. People will be like, "Oh my god, Josh, how are you so rich?" You are like, in 2011, I did buy a lot of Kirby porn products.
facetious when I say it's a horrible coincidence. You might not know this, but there were originally 5 4chan threads documenting this thing as it happened, and people were complaining that they kept going in and out. There's evidence of this on the main thread because the other 4 have been lost to time. And I don't know if they ever went back up, but they were never archived. There are like barely any survivors from this incident. I'm not saying Sears did it, but this certainly didn't harm the reputation in any way. I'm not saying Sears did it, that's crazy. 4:09 a.m., Storm Dragon Blue, that artist behind the original image, he finds out that someone is selling his stolen fetish art at an American big box store. And not only did he have no clue what it was doing there, he kind of thought it was funny. At 5:13, he posts a short journal to his Fur Affinity page. He says, "Yeah, that's my art all right." He claims he didn't feel that Sears was ripping him off and he didn't see a point in suing, which was probably smart because you should keep in mind that he would be a Dutch plaintiff suing a major American retailer over copyright infringement on a piece of fetish art from a video game for kids and families. So it probably wasn't worth it. Time was passing and no one could dig up a compelling answer as to why this was on the Sears website. But they actually had a secret weapon this entire time. They
Of course, 4chan have a secret too.
just didn't know. Amidst all the posting and seething and theorizing, one user on Something Awful, a guy named Yoshi Jang, quietly places his order for one item. You know, just to see what this was all about. And this order was actually gonna bust the whole case wide open, but it wouldn't arrive for at least 5 days. And in the meantime, the search had gotten so desperate that detectives turned to the furries on Reddit, to which the furries on Reddit cryptically responded, 5 words: "The Sears Human Flesh Grill."
What?
Part 2. The Sears Human Flesh Grill.
What the
Theory
hell is
time.
this?
Pardon my French, but do you remember how I mentioned that this was not the first time Sears had some fucked up thing on their website? That's because it wasn't. They actually had a similar incident take place in 2009, and unlike the bootleg porn thing, this one made the news. So what happened? On August 20th of 2009, so only 2 years before this, a Reddit user called G Fixler discovered a rather hilarious design flaw on the Sears website. He posted his findings to r/funny, so this is a subreddit with an audience of thousands.
Oh, don't tell me they found a way to upload their own images to the website. No, because it don't make sense. You can't upload your image to a product and unless they don't have a stock and they print on demand or something.
Of people, and he explains the following. Some parts of the Sears website retrieved a lot of page information, not from a database, but from like information that the user was submitting. So if you changed a few words around up here, you could change anything in here. Naturally, this results in the human flesh grill. Unlike most other retailers in the summer of 2009, Sears had a whole grilling section called human cooking, with subsections like body part roaster and grills to cook babies and more. But the craziest thing is that the Sears website was somehow even more clapped than anyone knew, because it also turns out that they preloaded frequently accessed pages, even if they were vandalized. So if you sent 100 people the link that you generated by messing up the website, the link to what is now, for instance, the human flesh grill at Sears, and if even half
It will become the default one.
of those people clicked on it, according to legend, congratulations, that was now the page that just showed up when you wanted to buy a grill.
Oh my god.
This was a dark day for Sears. So not only was this quality merchandise not suitable for the public, but given how many times this guy got banned from eBay, he probably used stolen artwork too. And that is the kind of thing that a certain pocket of the internet will notice. How do we know he's banned from eBay? Let's assume his eBay storefront with 3 billion 5-star reviews is legit. Even if that was true, this Carson's guy also left behind a couple of forum posts that read like this. Help, I'm banned from eBay. Does anyone know how I can get around this? I want to keep selling stuff. And if I wanted this video to suck, this would be a great place to end it, because on paper, this does answer all the
It depends. Like, the fandom, not the fandom. The game itself is cute and all, but the fandom sometimes are hungry for imagination.
questions. The when, the who, and the how. But the how of Kirby hentai being sold at Sears is actually much less interesting to me than the why. And this is where we get into our final clue. The third worst thing. 3. There are only 2 types of bootlegs in this world. The kind with weird cartoon porn on them, and the kind without. There's no way around it, I have to tell you. And the kind
I saw this getting physically sold in a kind of obscure shop long time ago.
without.
And it was another one with the green Pikachu with the Dragon Ball or something. It's back from Brazil, I think. I think they messed up everything.
About the Fat Albert Vor necklace. Part 3. Fat Albert.
What
I know
the-
I'm throwing a lot of ideas at you right now, but I promise I will explain everything. So early on in both the 4chan and Something Awful threads, users remark on how much this Kirby Sears thing reminds them of other times in recent memory when fetish art appeared on merchandise. Art that they knew to be adult in nature while others did not. And I know what you're thinking. Oh my god, here goes the YouTuber making a video essay hitting me with the I know what you're thinking. Well, I do know what you're thinking. I do know what you're thinking. And you're probably thinking, bootleg with incognito fetish art on it? Surely this cannot be a long list. So let's get into it. First up, someone
Right, I know my people, not that I make the Sonic.
on 4chan reminisces, wow, first those pregnant
You had one by any chance, Ghost?
Gwen Tennyson stickers and now this. What is going on? For those who don't know what that is, in 2011, which I guess was like a huge year for this kind of thing, a sticker sheet inexplicably surfaced online depicting this young couple expecting a child. Only the young couple
Wait, they are brother and sister and they are 10.
is a pair of 10-year-old cousins who act like siblings from the wildly popular kids cartoon Ben 10. Obviously, any bootleg fan art featuring a pair of pregnant cousin siblings would be innately funny to those who recognize what it's from.
What the fuck, not my childhood comment, but I don't have it, sadly. I want the free custom fridge magnet from Altenfear back, and I got to customize what image was on them. Oh my god. What horror did you put in there? So I have some fridge magnets with the KSI nudes on them. Oh, the person printing them was like shocked too. Like, what the... Why do I have this job?
But when you start trying to answer the question of where did this seemingly innocuous artwork come from and for what reason was it made, it becomes abundantly clear this is 100% fetish art. It's just that there's no way in hell grandma would know that when she's buying it for you at the store. Next up, on Something Awful, another guy says, you know, the first thing this whole
Look at his profile picture. Oh.
Kirby boondoggle reminded me of was that Fat Albert Rule 34 Vor charm that somehow ended up on eBay. Now let me break it down for you.
Oh my god. What is this?
Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids, a cartoon that ran from 1972 to 1985, and being a cartoon produced some merch. Rule 34, slang for pornography. Of course, that definition is so expansive on the internet as to include things like vor. Vor, or vorarophilia, is a fetish for swallowing someone whole or for being swallowed. Unlike the Sears flesh grill, this is not a cannibalism thing. It is just a fantasy, and one that enjoys inflated popularity on websites like Fur Affinity and DeviantArt. So,
holy shit.
Putting it all together, the Fat Albert Vor ornament, if you will, was some kind of belly-themed fetish art that some guy found online and probably did not know to be adult in nature, and then he reproduced it in the form of this cubic zirconia chain ornament that was sold on eBay for $200. In the seller's own words, quote, "It depicts Fat Albert in movement, with Bucky caught in the way and against Albert's wide stomach."
No, it's not. He wasn't caught in the way. He was inside.
From kids to teenagers to adults, this charm is guaranteed to attract any age audience. Also, I recognize this is not the biggest issue here, but I'm pretty sure that's Dumb Donald. And the examples in the threads alone go on. Merch with Street Fighter, art.
What on earth is that? I have to put a trigger warning or something.
Furry fetish mouse pads, weirdly sexual and threatening bumper stickers, things like that. Put simply, bootlegs like this, especially
he went from Simba to anus.
are just tailor-made to be circulated on the internet because they're a seemingly alien arrangement of random pop culture items. They kind
Yeah. Usually they are like Chinese products and they have no idea. They have like what I think they do is they buy a lot of PNGs, the rights of a lot of PNGs, and they don't have the copyright or don't care about it. So what they do is they have like 10 available PNGs. They put 3 of them on one item and sell it. Whatever. They don't know what they are selling. This is my theory about it.
of scratch that like post-ironic itch. Harry Potter Sonic Obama backpack being an excellent example. So I'm explaining all this for a reason. Why does this happen? Why does some bootleg merch have a weirdly sexual image on it that is only decipherable to brain-rotted internet people? I believe the simplest explanation is this. Bootlegging, especially in the realm of cartoons and anime and video
Wait. Oh no, no they didn't. Look at this. Picoman. It's a kind of... How do you explain this image to someone blind? It's Ash Ketchum with Mickey Mouse face and his hat without the logo with his Pikachu, but the Pikachu face is Titi, the canary. What the hell is even that? What's those numbers? Is it a trampoline? I don't think so. Power Man, of course. he have a scorpion. Beauty Warrior, of course, it's not like Sailor Moon or anything. And well, whatever this is like Sonic with Tails fusion. The funny thing is we all saw this or had one of those one time or another.
entries. 7 Granddad being the famous example.
Granddad!
And that
Wow, even video games have bootlegs.
means several things. For instance, that means there's a language barrier. So concepts like these two being cousins, let alone children, rendered in this art style, are lost in translation. And as mentioned several times before, the likelihood that the Indonesian or Chinese
It's ruining my childhood. I'm sorry, Rose. You can survive it. You will survive it. Don't worry. I believe in you.
or Chilean manufacturer of these items, who probably just ripped this art from the internet at random, the likelihood that anyone involved knows that this odd-looking cartoon is actually fetishistic in nature, it's close to zero. Anyway, this is how I believe things went down. In 2004, there's a new vendor operating out of Austin, Texas, called Carson's Collectibles. Joseph C. Smith, the man ostensibly running this business, makes mass-produced items on the cheap, most likely using a website similar to Cafe Press or any of those that let you print things onto mugs and t-shirts and so on. He applies to sell his wares on Sears' website and gets approved, which is great news because it looks like his eBay storefront is not doing too hot. Now, over in the Netherlands on May 1st of 2008, Storm Dragon Blue reposts his Kirby fetish art from his personal blog.
Let me guess. He saw the art, so it's a Kirby. It's good for sales. Put it there. It was approved on Sears. Got sold without anyone understanding what was the art about.
For Affinity. And I couldn't find a suitable place in the video to mention this, but this link is really important. On the same day, and this happens with Fur Affinity artwork all the time when it's adult in nature, on the same day this image is cross-posted to a website called Pahil, which is a massive adult image aggregation site. Pahil is the type of website that hundreds of other sites repost from. It's kind of like a cartoon erotica mothership, and this proliferation is most likely how the DDD image ended up in the sludge of Google image search results. And that will matter in a second. Now, from here, I think it could go two ways. Given Carson's history, alleged, of selling gay adult collectibles, the guy behind this is either a furry himself, or just intimately familiar with what sells and where to find this type of furry artwork. Or, what I think is more likely, is this guy had a vague familiarity with video games, but not too much. I suspect that between May 1st, 2008 and April 27th, 2010, Carson's Collectibles scraped Google Images for art related to Nintendo or Kirby or anything in that neighborhood. He was familiar enough with Kirby to recognize the character of King DDD by name, but otherwise misread the image because he wasn't brain-rotted and called it King DDD drooling while eating. So that's it. This whole thing only happened because of fetish art between friends. And through a highly improbable series of events that could only ever happen on the internet, it
You're absolutely yuck, Yurium, if it's a diaper baby. Adjacent.
went all the way up the chain of command and got sold at Sears. But I guess if you put something like that online, expect it to come Kirby right back at you.
Oh, bro.
This has been Bad Art History.
Ooh, that was a hell of a ride. You know, you can take us. You will sleepless dump today and know a lot about Sears. Well, that was something. Thank you all for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.